Hello, my Wealthy Wife tribe and friends. This is Ms. Sophia here at Wealthy Wife. How are you? And thank you for joining me. I do appreciate you being here. All right, today I'm going to continue on with, I think the last audio I posted, I've just started doing a series about a variety of women, historical icons, as well as modern day women I admire. And, you know, how would they fit into the world of Wealthy Wife? What would make them a great goddaughter or client for Wealthy Wife? And I had a blast. The information I'll be sharing with you guys over these next several days or YouTube videos or audio, should I say, I will be sharing the qualities of a variety of women that would actually fit right into the world of Wealthy Wife. And I'm doing this because I have a real desire for you to understand, once again, there's no one size fits all. The importance of you understanding Wealthy Wife 3, who are you, what do you desire, and your whys, is such a potent, potent way to actually live a sincerely fulfilling life. I mean, a life that truly brings you joy, adds to your happiness, your prosperity, the love and romance in your world, based upon who you are. Now, today we're going to be discussing Zsa Zsa Gabor. Yes, Zsa Zsa. Some of you know who she is, some of you don't because you'll be younger, but I'm sure you've heard, even as a younger woman, you've heard the name Zsa Zsa. Zsa Zsa was infamous because she was married like 8 different times. She had this fabulous accent because she was actually from Budapest. And her and her sisters, she was one of three, really died. They called them the Gabor sisters, who were just exceptional when it came to their beauty and how they actually dealt with the men in their world. And I'll give you a little background on them because there's a book out. I just went online and looked at it. You had it before. I have no idea what did with my copy, but it's called The Bombshells from Budapest, and it literally talks about it's about Zsa Zsa and her sisters, and a little bit about their mother Jolie. Literally, Zsa Zsa's mother raised her daughters to be courtesans. Yes, she had zero desire for her daughters to date and marry broke men. Or the average broke man or the average man. Because first and foremost, raising three daughters and trying to get them married was expensive. Because back in the day, depending on your wealth category, you were paying out dowries, meaning you were giving money to a gentleman in order to care for your daughter. It was wild. And having three daughters, that would have been expensive. And she didn't want her daughters to suffer and struggle, so she actually raised them to be courtesans. And the book tells you about the journey. It's hysterical. And she gives all the details and the dirt and everything else about how Hollywood was when she was going through Hollywood because she was an actress. In addition to be married 8 different times. And she's the one who was infamous for saying, what did she say in reference to her? I can't think of the quote right now to find it. But she would always say she was great at being a housewife because after every divorce, she kept the house. So yeah, Jaja was something else. But anyway, before I go into her, I actually want to read and share with you a little bit about the wealthy wife philosophy. Yes, I know some of you are new, and even some of you that have been with me for a while. I'm going to remind you why wealthy wife exists. I said before, she came into existence during a time when I saw so much information out there in reference to women dating, especially moving into the space of dating rich and potentially wealthy men, that was freaking me out because so much of the tips and the ideologies that were being shared were harmful. Women were literally giving themselves away to men for next to nothing in reference to trying to chase down this dream of being a sugar baby. And I said before, I got it. If you had been with someone who had always dated and no one ever, ever, ever did anything extra for you, this whole magical concept of being a sugar baby would seem enticing. I get it. But here's the kicker. If you're going to date after the rich and wealthy, you will need to understand who you are. I've said this many, 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 many times because dating after rich and wealthy is definitely different than dating the average man. But do some of the behaviors change from one category of man to another? Not always. Not always. So you need to understand who you are and have a very strong sense of self. So when you are dating or in relationships, you're making wise decisions about why you are selecting just type of gentleman to be a part of your world, especially in a very intimate way. So In the world where women are constantly told to strive, hustle, and prove themselves, Wealthy Wife offers a refreshing and powerful alternative, the art of being. And I've discussed the art of being in many, many videos. At the heart of our philosophy lies the belief that a woman's power, magnetism, and prosperity are cultivated through her presence, mindset, and ability to move through life with elegance, confidence, and intention. Female power as a, feminine power as a superpower. A woman who embraces her femininity wields an unstoppable force. Wealthy Wife teaches that femininity is no way a weakness, it is the ultimate form of strength. This power is expressed through emotional intelligence, which is the ability to navigate social and romantic relationships with grace, understanding, and influence. Next, sensual confidence, embracing one's beauty, present, and allure unapologetically. Next, magnetic communication, knowing how to speak, listen, and engage in ways that captivate and inspire. A wealthy wife woman, the goddaughters, is a muse, an enchantress, and an icon in her own right. She chooses not to chase opportunities or relationships. Why? Because they gravitate to her. The art of luxurious living. At Wealthy Wife, we believe that we know luxury is a lifestyle, not a price tag. True wealth is about creating and curating a life filled with richness in all aspects: romance, relationships, personal growth, and experiences. For example, we teach an opulent mindset. A wealthy wife woman, and I like that, understands that wealth begins in the mind. She thinks abundantly, expects the best, and attracts prosperity effortlessly. Next, cultivating an elegant presence. From fashion to etiquette and beyond, she understands the nuances of presentation and refinement. Affluent romance. She knows how to attract and sustain a relationship with a high caliber man who admires, adores, and supports her vision for an exceptional life. Next, strategic hypergamy and hypergamist relationships. Yes, I said strategic hypergamy. It's one of my trademarks, by the way. Wealthy Wife teaches women the art of elevated romance, where love, admiration, and financial security go hand in hand. Hypergamy is in no way, shape, or form about gold digging. It is about aligning with a partner who matches and enhances your ambitions, dreams, and lifestyle. A wealthy wife relationship is built on mutual respect and admiration, understanding the psychology of high value men, emotional and mental alignment for long term success. And finally, the power of personal branding. A wealthy wife woman is her own best investment. She cultivates a powerful personal brand that reflects her essence, values, and desires. Whether she is a professional, entrepreneur, or a woman of leisure, she understands the importance of one, owning her narrative, meaning you are showing the world who you are. You're not being told and guided by other people. You're living your personal truth. Next, evaluating her social presence. How are you showing up in the world, basically? And are you happy with how you're showing up in your environment? And mastering the subtle art of influence and persuasion. Becoming the iconic woman you were born to be. Wealthy Wife is more than a philosophy, it's a movement. For women who refuse to settle for mediocrity, whether you are seeking love, personal evolution, or a life of grandeur. The Wealthy Wife experience offers the tools, insights, and transformation to help you embody your most opulent, feminine, and fulfilled self. The question is, are you ready to become the woman you were always meant to be? Hmm. Because once again, and I'll be sharing more of these in reference to the Wealthy Wife philosophy. I love what I do. I've shared this with you guys so many, many times. And I'm really smiling because, as some of you know, because some of you are actually part of the coursework, we have two live master classes going on right now. One is the Elite Paramour, how to become the ultimate, the Elite Paramour experience. And that master class, we are having such a great time because my goddaughters are really honing in on learning who they are, where they're doing great, and where they need to do some work. And what makes me laugh out loud, because anyone who's actually taken Wealthy Wife coursework already knows this, and you also know this by listening to YouTube videos. Anything I put in front of you is generally going to make you sit down and think, okay, what am I doing and why? Introspection is such an important thing, and it's something that never goes away, because to learn who you are, you have every right to have a deeper understanding and wisdom about yourself. Because, excuse me, that's one of the ways you learn how to love yourself. The highs, the lows, the ins and outs, the things that are wonderful about you, the things which make you kind of go, huh, I don't know why I did that. What was I thinking? Because we all have those moments. Okay, seemed like a good idea at the time. Didn't work out quite the way I planned. And even some of those painful moments, because we've all been through painful moments, part of life. All of those experiences are what make you the woman you are today. And if you're happy with her, wonderful. But even when we're happy with self, we still have rooms of improvement, and we can always elevate for more. That's the whole goal of living, is to experience more beauty, more joy, more abundance, more love, whatever it is that matches up to how we choose to stand up and move through this life. And once again, the spaces that may not be so great. Here's the beauty there. You need not repeat it. I've said so many times before, your history, your origin story, especially if it's not a great one, it need not haunt you for the entirety of your life. You always have the option to change. You always have the options to make adjustments. You always have the option to let things go which no longer match who you are. People, places, and things. And in the world of Wealthy Wife, it's such a beautiful thing to watch as the goddaughters literally unfold in front of me. The brand new goddaughters that I'm meeting with these new master classes, as well as my established goddaughters. And to hear the conversations and to watch them really begin to understand. And some of them are beginning to understand. Understanding is when you really are embodying and enjoying the experiences that are becoming part of your truth, as you release things once again which no longer work for you. And I love the confidence. The self-confidence is exceptional. So I will once again be going deeper into Wealthy Wife philosophy. Once again, sharing information with you guys. We're going to talk about Zsa Zsa here in just a second. But I want to mention this because I do have one, because someone asked me, I've got received emails. Right now, we only have one course up live on Wealthy Wife on the Academy. Because, like I said, the live master classes that are going on right now, I may do them again. I'm not sure. If anybody knows anything about me, I tend to do my live master classes one time, and then they go either into the archives or they become an online academy course. This one, I do not know if I'm going to offer it again. These two as live master classes again. They're going great. We have the Elite Paramour and Strategic Hypergamy. And I just got through finishing up their weeks 5 through 8. I just put them online because they're now in week 5, number 5 for their homework and their lessons. And what I'm enjoying about it is that it's going deeper and deeper into their knowledge. It's taking what they're learning and helping them kind of weave it into their new classwork as it becomes a little more advanced. Because these live master classes are introductory coursework into, once again, more intermediate and advanced level coaching for the private tutoring, as well as lessons for the women that are going to stay with me and continue to evolve into their higher version of self. Because you can take a handful of classes, but here's the thing, there's always more to learn. And there's certain things that you may need to refine. As I've been doing it, ladies, once again, I've been living this lifestyle for literally for decades. And I know personally there's still places that I'm still refining, even though there are things I have definitely mastered. But even in my mastery, I still find things to learn, and there's still ways to elevate myself. The learning never stops. It's one of the reasons why I enjoy this so much. Because once you really get into it, and you finally have that kind of self-confidence and you feel really great about it and you're moving differently, you live differently, you find there's so many things to enjoy because you live in a space of being fearless. You're no longer worrying, you're no longer scared, you're excited. You literally are excited because you're thinking, oh my gosh, I never thought about this before. One of the things I'm learning, I said before, I'm working on some foreign languages right now. One of them I'm working on is Latin. And people are like, why are you learning Latin? Because I choose to. Latin is called a dead language. It is far from a dead language. Latin is the foundation language for a few languages. And there are many things that are written in Latin. And I prefer, even when I'm doing my ceremony, I still prefer to speak Latin for some of the things I do in reference to my spiritual practices. I've shared before, the English language is a bit of a mess. So, to make things more profound, Latin is very useful. And plus, we already know I'm a nerd, right? I've shared this many times. I love learning. I never get enough. I just love learning, especially unusual things. That adds to my joy. So the one course that we have live right now is literally the what do I call it? Going from invisible to influential. It is the personal branding course. All the goddaughters are taking it because some are still in it. They're enjoying it because they really are beginning to have a deeper understanding of self and learning how to curate your personal brand is super important because, and here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen, you have a personal brand. You're a walking, talking your personal brand as you speak. How you're showing up in the world, how you look. Zsa Zsa is going to be a great example because Zsa Zsa had a look. Zsa Zsa was expensive, okay? If you were spending time with Zsa Zsa, you knew you were going to make investments in her. You knew it, especially when she understood the reasons why, because as I said in the book, she and her sisters initially, while they were raised to be courtesans, initially they didn't do so great. Their mother wanted to shake them because I think their first marriage or two with either all of them or at least a couple of the sisters were not too well-to-do men, and they were in the marriages were kind of ugh, and their mother's like, okay, we did all this to elevate you, and this is what you bring home? Oh no, 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 no. But when Zsa Zsa and her sisters figured it out, oh, good gracious, they all married well. And Zsa Zsa, and I think they all had multiple husbands. It was Magda, I think it was Magda was the oldest daughter, Zsa Zsa was the second daughter, and then Ava was the youngest daughter. And they were beautiful. They were beautiful women and full of personality, just personality plus. So anyway, so personal branding is very important because you have a brand. You have a personal brand now, and it may be getting you nowhere in life. Remember, the goal is to be intentional, to really decide what it is you desire to do and how you desire to live. And then do what you need to do, learn what you need to learn, make those investments in yourself because I said before, you're going to invest money. You're supposed to be investing your dollars in your personal development. People out here buying stuff all willy-nilly and they don't know what they're doing. There's no rhythm, there's no rhyme or reason to what they're doing. They're just chasing after all this stuff. Our goal here at Wealthy Wife is to help you curate a cohesive brand where what you're doing really matches up to who you are, especially if you're making investments in like more expensive items. If you're into designer bags, if you're into all this designer stuff, why? What is the image you're looking to portray? Because once again, each category has a different look. There are some categories where labels are a big thing. There are some categories, those labels will get you shut out because people are kind of going, okay, that's too flashy. That's not what we're doing over here. And there's a way to blend both if you choose to and you own your personality, but you need to know your brand and your whys. And this way, when you make those investments in more expensive things, be that fragrance, your home interior, because your home is your temple, whatever you're doing, it matches up with the energy you're putting out. So let's discuss Zsa Zsa. And why Zsa Zsa? How Zsa Zsa Gabor embodies the wealthy wife philosophy. First and foremost is mastering strategic hypergamy and high value relationships. Zsa Zsa didn't just marry for love. Zsa Zsa married for status, wealth, and power. She did, because you look at some of the names of her ex-husbands, she did. Even though she wasn't crazy, she was married to Conrad Hilton. Yes, yes, the grandfather of Paris And Nikki Hilton, she was actually married to their grandfather. And she said he was kind of tight with money. But even he had to loosen up his purse strings to, to stay, to hang out with Zsa Zsa. The Zsa Zsa was like, excuse me, darling, I'm Zsa Zsa. And Zsa Zsa got her way. Next, she understood that a high value woman should never settle for a man who was unable to elevate her lifestyle. Once again, she had a persona, and her persona was the fact that she was a woman who a man was going to make investments in his money, his resource. I mean, not his resource in addition to his money, his connections. And she also, here's the kicker, she also brought connections as well. Because I said before, in these relationships, there is reciprocity. And if you're looking into their world with the eyes of an average person, you're not going to notice some of the things that take place. And some of the things that you think are happening really aren't what you're seeing because there's always a deeper level. Remember, these women that I'm going to share with you over these weeks, these next several, probably next couple of weeks, they were strategists. They knew what they were doing. Strategy is very important in your life. Next, she secured relationships with billionaires, royalty, and business tycoons, proving she knew how to navigate hypergamy flawlessly. And she really did. She would thrive. As a matter of fact, the course is going on right now, the live masterclass, the Strategic Hypergamy Blueprint. Now, that guide is still available on the bookstores, just so you know, if you want to have a chance to take a look at it. But the course, the live masterclass, is going on as we speak, which is about refining the techniques of attracting, maintaining, and securing devotion from the world's most elite men. In whatever category what that means to you. Next, the art of playful seduction and feminine charm. And she was very feminine. If you're looking for that over top expression of femininity, she was it. The fur coats, the diamonds, the feathers, the this, the hair, the makeup. I mean, she was always immaculate in her presence when she was younger, even though she was in her older years. Now, by the end of life, not so much because she wanted to be having some major health issues. But even then, she was really weird about how people are going to be allowed to come into her home and see her. It wasn't until really, really, really later in her life, because I think she lived to be in her 90s. But yeah, Zsa Zsa was always a very conscious of how she presented herself to the world because it was her image. That was part of her brand. Zsa Zsa was known for her flirtatious charm, effortless wit, and ability to make men feel like kings. She mastered the balance of playfulness, confidence, and sensuality, making her completely irresistible. She understood that a woman doesn't have to chase. There's no need to chase. She simply has to create an energy that men find irresistible. And in reference to coursework, with that kind of mindset and that knowing, Zsa Zsa would have been a natural for the art of coquettish charm and playful seduction. Now, that particular guide is no longer available on the online academy, but I'm most likely going to be putting a course together with that particular guide. Learning how to refine her ability to enchant and influence men effortlessly. And I'll say it again, the coquette is one that makes men crazy because she is very warm and inviting, but there's a chill to her, a coolness to her that makes them kind of go, what did I just do? She was really, really warm today, but she's kind of standoffish tomorrow. And did I say something? Did I not do something? And usually, no. It's just that she's now doing something different. She's in a different headspace. The coquette is pretty cool. Next, luxury as a lifestyle, not an aspiration. Zsa Zsa surrounded herself with diamonds, designer fashion, private jets, and mansions. Her life was a work of art. Remember, she was very intentional. She knew what she was doing. She believed in being adored, gifted, and pampered as a standard. Remember, this was her expectation. When she finally understood the power of her personal brand, when she understood, once again, how to apply the art of femininity, the art and science of womanhood, she flourished, to say the least. Where am I? Lost my train of thought here. Hang on a second. Oh, she proved that a woman's life should be luxurious and that receiving luxury is a skill every high value woman should master. She would excel in becoming a woman of opulence, which once again, that course is not available just yet, but it's coming. Oh God, I told you guys, I got things in the back burner here I'm working on. and refining her ability to attract lavish gifts, experiences, and a life of pure luxury. Number four, social positioning and mastering elite circles. Zsa Zsa navigated high society, moving effortlessly between Hollywood, European royalty, and global power players. Remember, I said when you understand and know yourself, you become kind of like catnip to a variety of men. There is no one size fits all when it comes to beauty in reference to men. Who they find to be attractive, usually if it's a wise woman, it's your personality. Your physicality is important because initially that's what the draw may be, but what keeps them coming back for more is your personality, who you are. You're never going to get by just on looks alone. Any woman who believes that, you're in for a horrible, horrible surprise because beauty shifts and changes as we grow older. And that's a wonderful thing, just so you know. Said before, I'm an older woman and I love it. There is nothing about me that I find to be undesirable because I love being me. Your body's going to change as you get older. I don't care how much you do working out, things are going to change. It's part of life. Things change. So the goal is to be an entire woman. Your physical beauty will, once again, will shift and change as you grow older. I said before, my mother was flipping drop dead gorgeous. She had me in her older, she was an older mom when she had myself, my younger brother. She was older. And when I was in high school, she was older. I mean, my mother, I think she was in her, when I was in high school, I don't know how she was. She was probably in her 50s when I was in high school. And when she would come to my concerts, guys would walk up to me and go, "Who was that beautiful woman with you? Was that your sister? Is that your older sister?" And I'm like, "No, that's my mother." And they're like, "Who?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "You're kidding." I'm like, "Nope." And I mean, she was like probably her mid to later 50s because she had us older in life. So she was drop dead gorgeous. Yes, beauty is a permanent thing when you understand how to own your personal presence. Now, she understood that a woman must cultivate the right image, connections, and lifestyle to maintain status in elite circles. She was never just another pretty face. She was a woman of influence, and she made sure people knew it. And yes, Zsa Zsa did, because she was Zsa Zsa. We don't even call her Gabor. If you say the word Zsa Zsa, most people know who you're talking about. All right, so I had to put you on pause for a second there. Anyway, she was never just another pretty face. She was a woman of influence, and she made sure people knew it. Jaja was Jaja's an icon. There's no other way to put it. She is iconic. If you mention her name, say her name, you know who she is. She's remembered for many things. I think the most famous thing she's remembered for is a time she slapped a police officer. I forget why he stopped her, but he said something to her, and Jaja didn't like it, so she slapped the cop. It's like, oh, Jaja. Oh, Zsa Zsa. But yeah, Zsa Zsa was a fireball, to put it mildly. She would be a star in The Wealthy Wife Guide to Elite Social Circles and Power Networking, ensuring that she had access to the most powerful and wealthy individuals. Now, that particular guide is unavailable to the general public. It will stay inside of the world of Wealthy Wife because, once again, some of the things I have in reference to guides will only be available through coursework. Some of them will become courses, and some of them will be additional resources for my students. In other words, my goddaughters. Number five, cultivating an iconic personal brand and unforgettable presence. Zsa Zsa curated her image carefully, ensuring that she was always glamorous, elegant, and unforgettable. Absolutely. She was known for her signature look, charm, and unapologetic embrace of wealth and femininity. Because see, ladies, you're allowed to embrace wealth and riches and feel unbothered by other people's opinions, especially when you're adding value to the lives of those who's are part of your world. I always work from the space of reciprocity. Never ever forget this. It is about give and receive. There's no give and take over here. It is give and receive. You go much further in your world when you understand the power of reciprocity. And she understood it. She brought value in the fact that one, as her image grew, as her name became an iconic name, but she also was a very intelligent woman. There was her and her sisters, they were very intelligent women because their life experiences, they took them very seriously, and they understood men. Oh my God, Josh, if Jolie, their mother, she did great. I said again, once again, when the girls finally figured out what their mother had been teaching them, they understood the science of men. Because yes, there's art and science to manhood as well. She became known for which I said again, her signature look, charm, and unapologetic embrace of wealth and femininity. She also understood that women who position themselves as icons attract admiration, wealth, and opportunity. Let me say it again. She understood that women who position themselves as icons attract admiration, wealth, and opportunity. And I will be sharing more iconic women in this series. Matter of fact, Naomi Campbell is one of the women I'll be discussing in this. I think Kimora Lee Simmons I've also had on here for some of the modern day women that are still very much around. Martha Stewart. I've got some other names and some other women that I really admire that are still very much alive and well. Um, why Zsa Zsa would be a perfect wealthy wife, a client slash goddaughter. She mastered hypergamy and only engaged with high status wealthy men. She lived a life of luxury, proving that opulence is a standard in no way, shape, or form only a goal. It was a standard. She used flirtation, wit, and charm to keep men obsessed with her. She navigated elite social circles effortlessly, always positioning herself among the rich and powerful. And she built an iconic personal brand that ensured she remained unforgettable. Now, I already heard the noise. It's not all about being rich and powerful. Well, that depends on what you want to have a desire to do with your life. Because here's the kicker. If you have things that you believe very strongly in, if you know things that you want, where you want to see change in our world, you're going to need some rich and powerful people behind you who are also going to share your vision, or at least be enthralled enough with what you're sharing and saying to want to find ways to assist you. I hear all these folks are crying and whining about certain stuff, and like going, you understand you have power. You need to understand how to cultivate relationships, which are going to, once again, be very useful for you and for the individuals that are going to be pouring into you. Change begins with you. It's not everybody outside of us. Change starts with you. Wealthy Wife is about creating powerful women, not just getting you married to men with money. That's part of the process. Yes, is that what you desire? Absolutely. But it's also and always about learning how to cultivate meaningful relationships, personal, social, romantic, professional, whatever. Finally, Zsa Zsa is the ultimate wealthy wife. I love this hypergamy icon. Yes, yes, she was, and she is. Zsa Zsa Gabor didn't just live the wealthy wife lifestyle, she perfected it. She would thrive in. Here are some of the courses that she would be a great fit for if she were to be a wealthy wife goddaughter. The Strategic Hypergamy Blueprint, which means securing high value relationships and wealth. The Art of Coquettish Charm and Playful Seduction, Mastering Flirtation, Wit, and Seduction. Once again, this is an upcoming course. Not exactly sure it's going to be released, but it's upcoming. Becoming with Opulence, Curating a Luxurious and Indulgent Lifestyle. The Wealthy Wife Guide to Elite Social Circles and Power Networking. In other words, securing elite level access. Once again, that's a guide that will stay inside of the academy for me to work with the goddaughters on. And of course, crafting your iconic personal brand, maintaining an image of luxury, charm, and desirability. Now, that particular course, which is from invisible to influential, this particular course, which is about the art of personal branding, is currently available on the Academy. It is life-changing. If you are unhappy with where you are right now and you desire to live a larger than or more than average life and move into the space of something more elevated, Personal branding is your first step. That's where you're going to understand your whys. This is where you're going to be discussing your core values. What is important to you? What can you release? What no longer serves you? What would be an absolute no for you? Learning how to speak. Because when you understand these women, they also had a verbal style, a verbal signature. Certain words that you would associate with them, certain sentences and statements which you associate with them. Some of those powerful quotes, that's a verbal signature. So many women are trying to figure out how to step in the space of femininity, how to be more attractive, how to have these different experiences in their life, but they're not looking to expand themselves. Honey, you can't get anywhere if you're not willing to grow. Or you're going to keep getting this more of the same. And once again, definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. You do not receive different results if you keep doing the same thing. You have to be willing to change. You must be willing to learn. And it's in your personal growth that you'll find all that you desire. Because remember, over here, we're not chasing after anything. There's no chasing. We attract. So finally, if Zsa Zsa Gabor were part of Wealthy Wife, she wouldn't just be a client. I love this. She would be the ultimate inspiration for women who desire wealth, influence, and romance on their terms. So this is the conclusion of our Why Would Zsa Zsa Gabor Be a Great Fit for the Wealthy Wife philosophy and education? How would she and the Wealthy Wife philosophy co-create and collaborate to, once again, take the energy, the essence, the being of Zsa Zsa Gabor to the next level? So anyway, enjoy and think about this. Having shared these qualities with you, are there any qualities, any characteristics of Zsa Zsa Gabor that you can relate to? Is there any aspect of who Zsa Zsa was that you actually could cultivate within you? Because some of you are these very bold and unapologetic women who may be hiding, like, oh, I'm not really sure, but you know inside of you, there is this energy saying, girl, what are you doing? We are bold. We're unapologetic. We understand and know that we are designed for opulence and wealth. What top 3 qualities that I mentioned in reference to Zsa Zsa do you relate to, are interested in cultivating, or currently are exhibiting yourself? I would love to know. Put it in the comments. Top 3. Anyway, once again, if you were interested in learning how to cultivate, first to learn, then cultivate and create your personal brand so that you really are showing up in your world in a way that resonates to the personal truth that is like living inside of you. Or if you are cultivating your personal brand and you're looking to refine it or potentially elevate it, the Invisible to Influential course, masterclass, online masterclass, which is literally on the Online Academy, would be a great fit for you. So either way, it's been a pleasure, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.